Okay, welcome to episode 3. Do you know where you are today? You're in Manifestation University. This is Manifestation 101. We're going back to the basics. Are you ready?
Yes, Professor.
Listen, Professor Sakira, aka your favorite cosmic fairy educator, I'm going to break it down for you. Let's get into it. I don't even want to talk no more. Let's get into it.
Outstanding.
What is up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the I Can and I Will podcast. This is season 2, episode 3. I am your host and your professor for the day and your favorite cosmic fairy educator for today, Sakira. And I'm about to light this candle for ambiance so we can get some things started because I got tea for you guys. And I also have a really, really good rant. I think season 2 is just like a whole bunch of rants, you guys. Like, I'm just really enjoying experiencing life, learning more about manifestation, learning more about the law of assumption, and then coming on here and just dropping all the heat for you guys. Like, coming with the pressure, like, yeah, Sakira, I felt that. I want y'all to feel that. You know what I mean? So you guys, let's talk about some things. I want to get into a success story that happened to me the other day. And then we're just going to get into some like basic manifestation 101 concepts because I feel like my summer has taught me just how simple manifestation is. And when I tell you guys about this success story, you're going to understand exactly what I mean. So let's just get into it. Let me tell you guys what happened the other day. So I got to give names for context because if I don't, it's not going to make sense. So there is this up and coming music artist named Nolly. I love Nolly. Nolly is so cute. She's beautiful, talented, all the things, right? And so I got introduced to her by my homeboy, Josh, about like a month or two ago. He invited me to this show that she was doing in the city. It was like a little free performance, low key. I went there and I had never heard of her before. I had never heard her music. But I remember going and I was like this little thing. She's so little, you guys. I'm 5'1" and she's like a little shorter than me. Like, she's so tiny. And I remember she was performing and her music was so good and her singing live was like out of this world. Her voice is so like, I don't know. She gives like the essence of neo soul and just like R&B and just like cutesy girly vibes. Like, she's a vibe. So I remember from that day, I was like hooked on her. I was listening to like her songs and stuff and I was finding other songs that I had never heard of from her before. So the other day I'm on Instagram and I see that Nolly posts that she's doing a album release party or like a project release party, and it was open to the public and it's free. So I hit the RSVP real quick. Josh wrote me, he's like, yo, Nolly's doing a thing on Monday. You go. I was like, Josh, I'm already on it. He was like, I bet. So that was cool. So I called my cousin. My cousin actually is a DJ for a really well-known radio station. And I was like, hey, like, there's a album release thing going on Monday. You trying to pop out? She was like, you know what? I'm not doing anything Monday. Sure, I'll pop out. I was like, okay, cool. We outside. Plans are in motion, you guys. They're in motion. Monday comes. I go to work. I come home. I got about 2 hours to get ready before I got to head out the door to get to this album release party at, like, you know, on time. You guys, one thing about me, I'm a Virgo. Sometimes I go in the house and I don't leave. I'm like, I just want to stay home. Like, I don't want to go outside, right? So I remember I got home. I was on the phone with my mom. And I was telling her about the party I was going to go to and stuff. And my mom is a fear monger. She is. I love that lady, but she be in the thick of the fear sometimes, like in it. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, you don't need to be going to no party in Brooklyn. There was just a shootout on the news the other day. And in my mind, there's a couple of things that I'm going to explain later, but I'm going to drop them for you now. So me and my cousin have this thing whenever we are thinking something or somebody's saying something to us that we don't want to manifest or we don't want to take on and impress into our subconscious mind, we'll either say delete, 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 because we are deleting that thought. We're deleting that from our aura, from our energetic field. Or we'll say guards, like I told you guys in the last episode, because who the hell let that thought in the motherfucking kingdom, right? The muggles have to stay with the muggles. If you watch Harry Potter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We are in our God state. We are sirens. We're sitting on our God state thrones. There is no room for thoughts like that in the kingdom. Guards seize that thought, right? So going back to the story, I'm on the phone with my mom. And she's talking to me about, oh, you know, I don't think you should go. But I was already telling her, like, I'm just going to stay home because I was tired. I was like, I had a long day. I don't feel like leaving the house. It's not even going to be that deep. Like, it's fine. She was like, yeah, and don't let anybody change your mind either, right? She's so spicy. I love my mom. So I was like, yeah, like, I'm in the crib. I'm in the house. It's fine. So I get up with her and I end up on the phone with my cousin. My cousin's like, yeah, I'm going to go. And I was like, girl, I'm not going. And she was like, you're not going? I was like, no. She was like, you know what? I think I'm still going to go. I was like, okay, cool. You have a great time. So we stayed on the phone. She's getting ready. I'm in PJs in my robe on the couch, chilling, eating ice cream. Like, yeah, I'm in the house. I'm not going nowhere. All of a sudden, Josh reaches out, my homeboy who had put me on to her to begin with, right? And he's like, hey, like, I'm getting ready. I'm about to leave. I'm going to head out at such and such time. I'm going to be there at such and such time. And then I'm like, yo, all my people going to be outside. Like, I got to come outside. So just like that, my mind changed. And I was like, you know what? I told my cousin, I was like, you know what? I'm coming outside. She said, you coming outside? I said, I'm coming outside. So guess what, guys? Your girl went outside. Yes, I did. So thank God. Because I didn't technically have anything to wear. This is turning into such a long story. Let me get to the point. I didn't have anything to wear, but I had just stopped earlier that day and picked up like a couple little things. So I have like this cute little t-shirt and some like, it's like a black denim skirt, short, like a skirt. Some Converses, calm, simple. I have my afro out, real natural, but pretty. You know what I'm saying? Curls popping. Cool. So I come outside. I get there, right? The first thing that I thought was, because it was supposed to start at 7, I didn't leave my house until like 7:45. I said, I'm gonna miss the whole thing. Oh my God, this is crazy. But my cousin got there before me and she was like, girl, she's not even here yet. You have nothing but time. Don't rush. You're good. Drive safe. I was like, perfect. Manifestation number 1. Let's clock it, right? So you guys, I have this thing where it's like, I like to play with my reality now. I like to test waters and see what I could do. So on my way there, I get this genius idea to be like, you know what? She's going to love me tonight. I didn't know how. I didn't know for what reason, but I just started affirming on my way there. You know what? She's going to love me tonight. She's going to love me tonight. She's going to have so much fun with me tonight. She's going to love me tonight. I don't know where it came from, you guys. I felt it, so I said it. So I get there. My cousin is there. And I realized, like, you know, she's not there yet, the performer Nolly. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. Whole like hour, 40 minutes goes by. She shows up. I'm like, okay, cool. But before she showed up, the first BBL, and we're not talking about the ones you inject in your butt, right? We're talking about birds before land or birds before landing. It's like a manifestation term, if you've never heard of it before, that basically means like when you're on a ship and you're lost at sea, but you see birds in the sky, that means that you're close to land. You're close to your destination, right? So remember, my destination, my land, or my manifestation that night was, she's going to love me. She's going to have so much fun with me. She's going to love me, right? So the first thing that happens is I see her sister. Now, I follow her and her sister on Instagram, so I knew who her sister was. I saw her sister, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like, I just said, like, I'm going to see Nolly tonight, but, like, her sister is here. Her sister's a vibe, so pretty. Gym baddie, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, girl. But she was standing by the bathroom with their other sister, and then me, her, and my cousin start, like, chopping it up a little bit about, like, making small talk about the bathroom, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm like, yo, I said she's going to love me tonight, and I'm over here chopping it up, making small talk with her sister. Like, I see where this is going. Cool. I was also affirming that this was going to be like the most amazing night ever. I didn't know how or why, but I was affirming a couple different things. But I know she was going to love me tonight, and tonight is going to be like so amazing, so epic, whatever. Those were ones for the books. I was running those on autopilot, right? So fast forward now, she comes in the spot. She walks past me with her sisters and her people, and you know, she smiled. Like, she's smiling at everybody. It was cool. She was saying her hellos to people. Funny enough, because my cousin is a DJ for a well-known radio station, it was pretty much like an industry party, and she knew so many people there, including the DJ Nyla Simone, who was co-hosting with Nolly. My cousin get up in the spot. She was like, oh my God, hey Nyla. I was like, this is crazy. Like, how I invite you somewhere, you know more people than me. Anyway, you guys, this is all context. This is all context. So I say that to say, Nolly was like, you know, hugging her people, saying hello, whatever, and she went in the back. She was chilling for a little bit. So I'm like, I don't know what time this, you know, album release thing is going to get started, because what it is basically is like you sit there and you listen to every song on the project with the person, like live and in person. So it's dope. And the project hadn't dropped yet, so it was cool because nobody had heard the music before. But let me get to why this night was important, you guys. That was a lot of context. I know. Bear with me. I talk a lot and I like details. Anyway, so fast forward now, we have the, so my cousin, when I first got there, had a spot, 2 chairs, like in the very beginning of the it's like a bar lounge kind of place. something in me was like, we don't need to be here because we're going to miss all the action if we stay up here. So we migrated to where the DJ booth is. It's not too far from the bathroom. That's where we saw her sister. And then that's where she ended up coming from the back to sit with the DJ so we could do the album release thing. Funny enough, me and my cousin had the only 2 seats in that vicinity, in that area. So we're sitting there chilling. Mind you, my short self, when everybody started to crowd, because it was like well over 100 people in that place. Everybody started to crowd, and it was like elongated. It wasn't like a big open space like a concert. It was like a long stretch. So you got people stretched that way, people stretched this way, and she's like center in the middle, and you kind of got to like look around and see. But me and my cousin were at this table right where she was, just looking right at her. What I was saying about me being short was that I had to step on the stool that I was sitting on so I could see above the crowd because I am 5'1", and it was not working out, but I got some good content. Cool. So we're listening to the music, we're vibing, everything's cool, right? I see Josh, he pulls up. He was there, but we didn't have no service in the spot, so I couldn't even text him to find out where he was, but he pulled up on me. I'm like, all right, cool. I introduced him to my cousin. We were having a great time. So now in the back, you guys, there is like a garden-friendly area, if you know what I mean by being a gardener. I'm not going to say too much, but you can't garden inside. I'll put it that way, right? So Josh and I garden. My cousin doesn't. And he was like, yo, you trying to like be a vegetarian today? Like, what's up? Like, I was like, yeah, let's go. So we went in the back for a little bit. And the DJ, after the listening party part was done, it turned into like an actual party. So the DJ was playing some crazy mixes. I was like, yo, and me as a dancer, I'm wild. And then 2 you guys, I'm drinking. I'm like, yeah, wilding. So I was going back and forth from the garden area to my cousin who was inside, and she was mingling and stuff. I was checking on her. She was good though. And I remember there was this one, it was like maybe the 3rd time I had went back, the DJ was playing this one mix. Shout out to you, Nala Simone, because that mix had me in the chokehold, and you know that. Because I went to her and I was like, I'm going to need you to run that one back. I said, you thought you was just going to let that play the first time? No, I'm going to need you to run that back. Spin the block with that one. She was like, I got you. She did the little, like the DJ sound, and looped it back, right? So you guys, I'm a little lit, I'm not gonna lie, right? So I just started dancing, right? Here's the thing. Look at the bridge of incidents, if you will. Bridge of incidents meaning how everything lined up, how it all kind of came together, how it was orchestrated. I went in there to go check on my cousin, take a sip of my drink because she was babysitting my drink for me. I didn't want to have it in the back with me. I hear the mix. I go to the DJ. I'm like, yo, can you run that back? I got you. Runs it back. Cool. I go back to my cousin. I prop my phone up on the table because I'm about to dance and I need a video, right? So you guys, I don't know if I told you, but like in the area where we were, it was like traffic heavy to an extent. So there was a few people passing back and forth throughout the time. I'm waiting for people to pass, but I got my little 2-step going as I'm making my way to the middle of the floor because I'm about to get crazy, right? I'm doing my 2-step. Who's coming towards me doing a 2-step all up in my camera? Nolly. I said, oh, she's so cute. Look at this. This is fire. So we doing that little girly thing in the camera. Cool. She's like, ah, right? So she walks away. In my mind, you guys, I'm like, oh, I got my little interaction with her. She loved me. Like that was enough for me. I was good. I was like, oh, she came. She danced in my camera with me. Cool. I just started dancing. I'm thinking she left. She went to the back. Who turns around and they're recording me with their phone and they all up in it? It's Nolly. My cousin is the GOAT. She picks up my phone because it was on the table, but it was stationary. You wouldn't have been able to see the whole thing if it was just staying there. It would have just been focused on me. My cousin picked up the phone immediately. She's recording both me and Nolly. Nolly is all in my video. She dancing with me. She like, yeah. Then there was a part I was really wild and I was killing it. You hear in the background talk about, right. I was like, yeah, Nolly. Hyping me up, you guys, a full like minute and 30 seconds of bare like love and good vibes and fun. And she was feeling it, girl. She was like, yeah, sis, period. So that was so fun. But it got a little bit more interesting, right? Because after that, so I finished my little segment. I knew I was done. I stopped dancing. The song was still going, but I was like, nah, it's time to get the phone. If you listen to the video, you hear my cousin go, girl, at the end. Because I had told her, I was like, yo, I've been affirming like she's going to love me tonight. So when my cousin witnessed that happen, she looked at me. She was like, girl. I was like, I know. And the camera, you see me looking around like this. Because I was just so hyped, you guys. I said, no freaking way did that work. No way did that work. I told Josh about it too, and Josh was like, yo, I'm so glad I got to witness the manifestation live and in action. Like, he was standing right there watching Nolly, like, she was touching on me. She was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, Nolly, I'm killing it right now. You see that? You see that? Yeah, it was such a vibe. So now, about 10, 15 minutes later, right? I'm still running off of this high that I had from this manifestation that just happened. I cannot believe she was in my camera, vibing, wilding with me, all of that, right? I hear my cousin go, yo, Sakara, is that Coyle Ray? The way I picked up my phone, I did not even look around. I grabbed this is the phone. I grabbed the phone immediately, press record. I said, where? At that very moment, she's walking right past me, like literally 2-3 feet of distance. And I had my flash on, so she knew she was being recorded. So she gave me the pretty girl smile. She kept it cute. She kept it moving. But I said, yo, Coyle Ray just walked past me. Like, it was nothing. Like, she in the spot with me. Like, it's nothing. Mind you, it's not one of those, like elite, super, like, high-profile spots. It was, like, a real low-key spot. Anybody could be up in there. Like, it didn't feel like a celebrity would be there. But she walked right past me and went to the back with her little, you know, her posse, her crew, whoever, in her little section, vibing, cooling. You guys, that night just got better and better. When I left the party, Josh was talking to Nolly real quick outside because we walked out together and Nolly and her people were there. So he's talking to her and then she sees me. She's like, oh, you leaving? And she gave me like 3 hugs before like we dipped or whatever. And I was lit, y'all. So I was talking my shit. I was like, Nolly, I'm trying to be in your video. I need you to drop another project after this one. I was lit. But it was such good vibes, though. It really, really was. And she was lit, too. I was like, yeah, I see you, girl. Her project was amazing. Shameless plug, you guys. Go listen to her. Tap in. Chef's kiss to her. But that was like my little manifestation story, you guys. Like, I had 2 witnesses plus a video. And I was my first witness because I was living the experience. I knew the intention I set on my way to the spot. And it unfolded, right? So now you might say, okay, Sakara, that was a wonderful story. I wish I could manifest a story like that. Can you show me or explain to me the inner workings of how a story like that can happen for me, whether it's a celebrity or money or a romantic partnership or a new job or a move, a house, whatever it is that you want? How can you align your intention with your manifestation? You guys, there's a couple places we could start, but I got to start right here. I got to solidify this right here. If you don't believe in the power of manifestation, if you don't believe in the process or the practice of manifestation, you're not going to have a lot of luck, success, or like happy endings, even if you will, right? With this whole concept of law of assumption manifestation. So something that I've been noticing, you guys, is that when it came to manifestation for me in the past, I really did not fully believe in how likely something was to happen for me. Like, I knew I can manifest. I knew sky was the limit. I knew, like, you know, the only limit is your mind. Like, I would hear these things and I understood them on a intellectual level. When it came to like implementing them, when it came to like integrating that knowing into my body so that my body felt comfortable with it, it was a no-go. But I would say for me, understanding that the laws are always the laws. The laws are always working. These universal laws, they don't turn off, right? Whether you choose to focus on them or not. I told you guys, I used to be a law of attraction girly. I am now a law of assumption girly. Just because I claim to be a law of assumption girly, or at one point I claimed to be a law of attraction girly, it doesn't mean that the laws turn off because I'm not fucking with them, right? Like, no, it means that the laws are still operating behind the scenes. I'm just choosing the one that I actively want to engage with, right? A couple of things that's coming up for me, you guys, before we really get into the process, are like some really mainstream topics that I hear a lot of people talk about, especially in the law of assumption. Me and my cousin had the best download. We always are like co-downloading together. We'll talk to each other. We have what we call our Delulu conversations, our Delulu sessions. And we had the cutest little like download, right? So she was talking about like, Sakara, I just can't get with the concept of just deciding. Like, something about that is not clicking for me. And I was like, okay, the way I see it is like this, because we were like going back and forth about it a lot and we were trying to piece it together, and then it hit me. I was like, you know what, Stace? It was hard for us to just decide when we were law of attraction girlies, because when you are practicing or into the law of attraction, you have to embody, and therefore you become a magnet to the things that you want, right? So how is it easy to, like, from that standpoint, how do you just decide that you're going to magnetize what you want to? For me, logically, it never clicked, right? So the whole just decide thing back then was just like, what am I deciding? I just have to embody and then be a magnet, right? With the law of assumption, it's so simple. You're just deciding what you want to assume, and therefore you get it, because you always manifest your assumptions. You decide what to assume. You just decide, right? So when I understood it from that context, from that perspective, it really made some things click for me too. Because you guys, it really is as simple as knowing you can have whatever you want, and there are no rules. You make the rules, right? If you say it has to take a long time, it's going to take a long time. If you say it has to be hard work, it's going to be hard work. If you say it can't happen until I do this, this, and this, it won't happen until you do this, this, and this, right? But on the flip side, if you say I get everything I want as soon as I affirm, you're going to get everything you want as soon as you affirm. If you say, you know, every time I think about yellow cars, I always see one. Every time you think about a yellow car, you're going to always see it. If you have an affirmation or a mindset of like, or a self-concept that money is just so easy to come by, guess what? You will experience money being easy to come by. You guys, manifestation, and we're getting down to the breakdown part, right? It's really as simple as this. It's mastering your mind and locking the absolute fuck in. Like, a lot of you guys will talk and you'll say, oh my God, Sakira, or oh my God, like I am manifesting, I'm practicing, it's not working. The other day, somebody commented on my TikTok and she was like, I'm manifesting money to get my work car fixed, and I've been manifesting for months and I don't have the money and my car's still not fixed, and maybe God doesn't want me to have it. And I'm like, whoa, like what do we do? Stop. Like, no. The only reason you will never see your manifestation, or the only reason why your manifestation is delayed, I'll say, is because in your mind, you are not locked in. You are not disciplining yourself. You are wavering. What do I mean by wavering? That means that your thoughts are going from one side of the field to the other side of the field. You may or may not be aware of it, right? But the times that you do catch yourself thinking in those oppositional kind of terms, that's when you have to course correct. Because again, let me just get into it, you guys. My favorite way to manifest, and this is through my experience, you can do whatever the hell you want. I love you. Follow your own journey. Choose your own adventure, right? Is to affirm. Because I have this belief, again, you create the rules, that as soon as I affirm, I get whatever I want. I said Nolly was going to love me. What happened Monday night? She was all in my video like, yeah, right? Y'all know from episode 1, the basket. I'm on the phone with Stacy. I'm like, I really wish I could manifest a basket, because I have this understanding that I had to work to implement. I'm not going to say it just happened overnight. I had to affirm this for a little bit, and then it became my dominant state. It became my self-concept. When I affirm, I get what I want. So how do we loop all of the things that I'm saying into the manifestation process, right? We're going to simplify it like this. You pick a goal, and you think only in terms of having what you want. Whether you want to say it's already done, or I'm about to get it, or it comes to me easily, or it was so easy to attain this thing, it was so easy to manifest this thing happened in the blink of an eye. But whatever your affirmation is, whatever your dominant assumption is becoming, it needs to make sense for you having it, right? Let's talk about money. Everybody loves to manifest money. Let's say you want to manifest $10,000. Let's say your bank account currently is negative $500, let's just say, but you want to manifest $10,000. What you do is you choose an affirmation or two. It depends on how I feel, you guys. I could do one affirmation if I feel like it really hits the mark, but sometimes I need a little follow-up statement to really seal the deal and bring everything full circle for me. But go based off of how you feel. Your affirmation should sound like you, and they should feel good to you when you say it. Like, it should feel natural to you. It shouldn't feel like you are reading something out of a book or regurgitating something that you heard somebody say. It should sound like this is just how you speak to yourself. Because affirmations, you guys, all they are is just your thoughts. You're always thinking. So therefore, you're always affirming. To affirm something means you're saying yes to it. When you think something, the universe, it takes that as you're saying yes to it. That's why I tell you, discipline your thoughts. Because if you catch yourself thinking, oh, things never work out for me, the universe is hearing you and saying, yes, we're going to say yes to that. Things don't work out for you. It's not a game, you guys. Like, it is a game in a sense, like reality, you can play with it. You can have fun with it. You can create the life you want instantly. It's really quick. It doesn't have to take a long time. But your mind is not the place to be playing around. That's where you got to lock in. And I kid you not, you guys, it's really as simple as that. Where it gets a little tricky, right? Because you pick your affirmations and you just lock in. You can do whatever method you want. I'm going to talk about where it gets sticky and where it gets tricky, but you can do whatever method you want. You can affirm, you can visualize, you can script, you can EFT tap, you can do hand mudras, you can do whatever you want. As long as your intention is, this thing is going to get me what I want, or this thing already gave me what it is that I want. It already helped me to get what I want, right? Your belief is not in you already having it. Your belief is, I'm going to do the thing that's going to get me what I want regardless, either way. My thing is affirmations. I love speaking life into existence. I love speaking creation into existence. And when it happens, I be hella happy. I be sitting back like, yeah, I did that. God spoke and things became. And what am I? I'm a God state siren sitting on my manifestation throne. Today, I'm your professor. Let's clock this lesson because we're about to make it make sense right now. So look, so where it gets sticky, where it gets tricky is where you have resistance. Now, resistance is just this. And I love Sammy Ingram because she made this make sense for me, and I'm going to make it make sense for you. Resistance is just when something doesn't feel normal. You're looking to manifest something, you're looking to create something, and it's not something you're used to. Therefore, your mind, your body, your system is like, whoa, what is that? No, 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 no. Right? The minute something becomes normalized to you, it becomes an assumption, right? Think about it this way. Like, if you listen to people, most people communicate their assumptions. People are not just saying their thoughts. They're not just saying how they feel in the given moment. Most people are programmed with things that create the assumptions that they live their lives according to. My mom assumed that if I went to that party, their album release party finale, that something bad was going to happen because in her mind, she watches the news and at parties in Brooklyn, something bad always happens. I, on the other hand, though, don't have that assumption. So guess what? I go to parties, I go to events, I go to social gatherings, networking events, whatever. And bad things don't happen to me because I don't live in that mindset. I don't live in that state. I don't embody that state that bad things happen to me. And I'm not saying I'm invincible, but I am saying that my assumptions are always going to manifest. When you talk to a person, they speak to you from a place where they believe and how they believe the world functions. And so they're spewing their assumptions at you. And then you look at their life and it pretty much lines up with the conversations you're having. You ever have a conversation with a person and they're just so negative? And then like, you see that their life is like falling to shit and it's like, I kind of get why. Like, you're really negative. You assume a lot of negative things right into your reality just like that. That's where it gets sticky. That's where it gets tricky. So going back to the whole concept of your affirmations or what you're looking to manifest, it just doesn't feel normal to you. How do you combat that? How do you make it normal? Repetition. That's how it got there in the first place, the things that are normal, right? Growing up, you heard your mom say money doesn't grow on trees enough for you to believe it. You heard, your best friend tell you that businesses fail in the first year, 90% of them, enough for you to believe it. You heard, your sister talk about how hard it is to find a good man, and so you believed it, right? All of these things were input into you. They were embedded in your subconscious mind through repetition. So how do you change that story? Because right now you're walking with old stories, especially with things that you have resistance to. Resistance is it doesn't feel normal. And a lot of times it's also, I have an assumption about how this is supposed to work. So now me looking to manifest the opposite of that, I got some work to do. And it's all internal. You guys, like, you know how some people lock in with the gym, some people lock in with their career, some people lock in with their hobbies, a sport. I lock in with my mind. I'm not even going to lie to you. Let me tell you what me and my cousin do, right? We have this saying, and it's so funny because I'm actually going to order us these little trophies where we go like, yeah, the 3D was wilding today. Reality was acting a little crazy. But you know what? I'm going to the 4D tonight, and I'm fucking everything up. Putting on my gloves, 4D, 2-piece. She'll text me. She's like, Sakira, lock in. I'm going to the 4D. I'm like, yo, I'm meeting you up there. I'm meeting you in the God State Kingdom. I'm meeting you in the 4D because what's going on? Who we got to tag team together? Tag me and I got you, right? Because we manifest for each other too. But I say that to say, that's what I mean by like disciplining my mind. I live in delusion. I live in the 4D these days because I know that that's where my power is. I don't have to try to entertain Muggleland. I don't have to try to play 3D games like, oh, this isn't working. Let me force this to happen. Let me go talk to this person and get them to conform. Let me go get this to... No. I sit back and I go up in here and I just repeat what I need to repeat until it unfolds. If you're not an affirmer, if you don't like to affirm, visualize. Loop that scene over in your mind until it unfolds. If you like to write, script. Write it out 1,000 times if you need to until it unfolds. If you like a 50K affirmation challenge, tap that screen until you feel like you're good. You know what I mean? Your method of choice, and I told you guys about this in a different episode, but I was saying like your method is not what's important. Your method is like a car. You could have a garage full of cars. All of them are going to do the same thing. They're going to drive, right? But I'm glad that I brought this example up because I want to take this analogy a little bit further. When you are manifesting, right? I was telling you guys before, you have different methods that you could use. You could affirm, you could script, you could EFT tap, you can do hand mudras, you can do a 50K affirmation challenge, you can focus affirm, you can robotic affirm, you could do all these different things, right? But think of each of those different tactics as a car that you drive, right? When you get in that car, AKA when you're using that method, where are you driving? You're driving to the destination that is your manifestation. You're affirming for $10,000 in your bank account. You get in the vehicle that is affirming, I have $10,000 in my bank account. I have $10,000 in my bank account. And what happens, that method is going to drive you to the $10,000 at some point. It's just going to solidify in your brain and your subconscious mind. You're going to get there, right? But my cousin has this thing that she says when she wavers, guards, we don't waver. When she feels like her mind wants to go in a different direction or she catches her mind going in a different direction, right? She says that she used to struggle with this energy of feeling like she has to start over from scratch. Like all of her progress that she's done up until that point almost gets like erased and she has to like backtrack and start over. And she told me, she's like, you know, I realized like we're not ever starting over, we're just continuing. So I kind of came up with this analogy like, okay, let's say you're affirming, which is just thinking thoughts, right? So you're thinking your thoughts and you're driving your vehicle. That's your vehicle, affirmation. So let's call the affirmations the Lamborghini, right? You're driving your Lamborghini and you're going to $10,000. You're going to the bank to get the $10,000 in that Lamborghini, right? So for lack of better words, you are affirming your way to $10,000. Let's say you catch yourself in the middle of the day thinking, damn, how am I going to pay this bill tomorrow? It's coming up and I don't got this money. Think of that as you're in your Lamborghini and you swerve over into oncoming traffic. But for this example, there's no traffic. It's the middle of the night. Everybody's in their beds. You're on the road by yourself. You swerve over into oncoming traffic. You didn't stop the car. You didn't turn around and go back where you came from. You're still going. You're just in the wrong lane. So what happens is you redirect your thoughts and you get right back into your own lane. You get right back on track. That's what made it click for me too, you guys. Like, you can't mess it up. You can't stop it. There's always movement, right? Like, there are a couple of things to lock into your mind with this whole manifestation process that's really just going to make it easy for you. It's going to like solidify it and bring it home. You can't mess it up. Your feelings and emotions don't manifest. You don't have to believe the affirmation or believe what it is that you're manifesting. You just have to believe that what you're doing, whatever method that you choose, is going to work for you, right? And then lastly, you guys, you have to understand that you're always manifesting. You're always in a state, and therefore your state is always creating something, right? You can't not be in a state. Right now, I'm in a state of a couple different things. I'm in a state of dressing a certain way. I'm in a state of content creation, being a content creator. I'm in a state of sitting on a couch. I could be in a state of sitting on the floor, right? Like I could be outdoors instead of indoors. Like, I'm in a state of being a content creator who creates content indoors. Like, there's so many ways you could look at this, you guys, but you're always in a state. A state is a state of being. As long as you are alive and you are being something. You're a human being, right? Maybe you're being somebody who thinks in terms of lack. Maybe you're being somebody who thinks in terms of abundance, but you're always being something. How you manifest is to go from being the person who doesn't have it to being the person who does have it. How do you make that jump? Repetition. Do not waver. Do not allow your thoughts to go in different directions. There is no but in manifestation. There is no what if in manifestation. There is no room for negativity in manifestation. When I tell you to lock the fuck in and discipline your mind, you guys, that is the way to get what it is that you want. Because so long as you're playing both sides, you're not gonna figure things out that way. Well, let me say it this way. So long as you're playing both sides, you'll end up getting what you want, because you're always gonna get what you want, but it's gonna take hella long. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't got a lot of patience. I want what I want, and I want it now. I want it today. Like, matter of fact, I want it yesterday. How's that, Uncle Lou? I want it yesterday.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here? So you guys, it's so easy. This was a rant, but listen, for those of you who are locked in and you're ready, this is going to click for you. And this is going to make things make sense, and it's going to catapult your journey to the next step, because I'm telling you, all it is mental discipline. If you could discipline yourself and show up for work every day to pay a bill, you could discipline your mind to create the life that you want. You just got to want it bad enough. I know that's what happened for me. I got tired of being broke and upset. Like, I really did. And I was like, yeah, this is not going to work too much longer. Now look at me thriving and living in luxury. I love you guys so much. This was like a little manifestation how-to, a little 101. Like, this was the intro class. Next week, we're going to hit 102, where I give you guys the structure. We're going to lay some things down. I love you guys so much. Thank you for vibing. I intend that this hits for you. I'm so excited. Until next time, you guys stay cool, stay positive, stay in the God state, because you are that. You can, you will, and you already did. I love you so much. Peace out.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.